Okay, here we go with video 2 for chapter 6 as we start going through the 3 steps here. So step number 1 is defining the problem. You have to just remember that the basic need of any organization is to satisfy the customers' or clients' needs and wants. Alright, so that's first and foremost. Now the first thing you need to do is recognize problems, and you have to be able to make sure that you are recognize the problems and still meeting the needs of the clients or the customers. Now, where it talks about specifications describe the product, one term that I want you to be aware of here is purchasing specifications. And purchasing specifications are simply a way to write up the description of what it is that you want to buy. Okay, you're buying something from another company. This is just the write-up, the paperwork that shows exactly what it is that you want to buy. Now, at the bottom where it talks about quality certification, one thing that they refer to here, the book refers to, is what's called ISO 9000, ISO and then 9000. And that's a way that different suppliers and manufacturers who sell these products and these parts to other companies, this is how they document their quality procedures according to internationally recognized standards. Right, step number 2 is the buying process, which is made up of 3, potentially 4 different steps here. The first thing you have to do is start with establishing some sort of a buying process. Right, then what you need to do is gather your information, collect data, do some research, get whatever information is that you and or your superiors, your bosses, are requiring you to get so you can make a well-rounded decision. Once you have the information gathered, then you start what's called soliciting bids, or gathering bids from companies that you're interested in potentially doing business with. Alright, you get these bids excuse me, to find out the costs from each of these companies to see if they are competitive or not. And then potentially, in some cases, you will actually select a supplier. I know that's right in the same blue section as solicit bids, but you don't always have to go and select the supplier. You don't actually always purchase everything. Sometimes you just don't go with that. So sometimes you do select the suppliers and then purchase that product or that piece or the machinery or whatever it is that you're looking at. Now this is just an example of 3 of the different types of organizational buying processes. These are things that I'd strongly recommend that you pay attention to. These are things that I would recommend that you just understand the difference between these 3 different types of processes. Now the first one that you see there, the new task buying, that's the one that's going to take the most amount of time. This is when an organization has a new need, a new want of some sort, and you have to gather a great deal of information about how to actually go through and order this, whatever it is that you're buying, this product. It does take a lot of time. You need to have specific specifications for it. You have to evaluate where you can get it. Okay, you have to review the suppliers in detail. You have to establish some sort of new routine for ordering in the future. So once you start running low on your inventory, you can have that set up in place as well. So there's a lot of detail and a lot of information that goes into this, a lot of time. On the far right, the straight rebuy, this is just repurchasing, a very routine repurchasing of something that you are currently using, something that is currently being used and is in existence in your company. It's just refilling a standard order is all it is. So very little time, very little need is for more than one person to place the order. It's very simple, very easy. The modified rebuy is just a little bit different. It's referred to as an in-between process or a combination of the two. Right, there's some reviewing of the buying process that needs to be done and needs to occur here, but not as little as a straight rebuy, but not also as much as new task buying. Just little tweaks need to be made with the whole buying process. Alright, the sources of information used by people within an organization who will do the purchasing. If you're looking through here, Some of the ones that you're going to have to look at: the marketing sources. Trade shows are potential places that you would be able to gather information on different companies within the industry and the industry in general. Salespeople and other suppliers obviously are key as well. Now, if you look down, the impersonal sources, you have the online events, virtual trade shows. So you're not actually traveling and meeting with people face to face. It's more online. Right? You have different catalogs, emails, different forms of communication. You go out online, use the internet. Blogs are out there, videos, case studies, all that kind of stuff. So that's where you're not actually meeting with people. You're sitting down and just doing some research to gather your information. If you look on the right side, the non-marketing sources, the impersonal ones, here you go again, online searches, different online communities as well. And you're not actually interacting with anybody. They're very impersonal. It's just you gathering the data. Above that, this is where you can get any kind of consultants. This is where you can talk to companies that are really not in your industry for them to try to gather some information for you, some research firms to be able to see what they can get for you as well, to try to help you out with your gathering of information or your research. All right, new task buying. With this, what we're looking at here, the search engines is just the first step to gather information, just for you to be able to get some basic knowledge behind as you're starting to go and buy this whole new order, this new part, this new product, whatever it happens to be. Now, you want to make sure that you are finding websites that give you valid, reliable, useful content. Right? Buyers usually will ask for competitive bids. Competitive bid is just where different companies will put the different terms of sale offered by their company. They're offering you to fill this order at this particular price with these specifics. All these product specifications are listed there. So then the company that's doing the buying will look through all these different competitive bids and determine what would be the best use of their money for their company based upon what the companies are willing to supply them. Also with this, a lot of companies and a lot of firms will use what's called a vendor analysis, and that is actually like a rating system for suppliers. You know, you can go out and rate products that you buy, or rate games, or do that kind of stuff. Well, this is a rating system. It's a formal rating system for suppliers on all different areas of their performance, whether they fulfill the order on time, whether their prices are fair and reasonable, the communications, the customer service, and all of that. So it's a formal rating system. This vendor analysis is a formal rating system for these suppliers. Next, checking your knowledge. Nikita Jackson, sales representative for an industrial supply house, calls on prospective business customers. The customer has an established relationship with another supplier with a different company, but says there have been some reliability problems with deliveries. So Nikita seizes the opportunity to describe her company's state-of-the-art logistics and transportation system that provides outstanding delivery reliability at low shipping costs. So what she's trying to do is just trying to give this person something to think about as she's trying to work her company in there. So it says here, Nikita is encouraged because her customer seems to be in a blank situation. Alright, so right off the bat, it's not new task because this person's not just starting from scratch with everything, just kind of kicking the tires a little bit on whether or not they want to change something, but they have a lot of their information already in place. So the best answer here would be the modified rebuy, which would be letter B. Okay, they're in a modified rebuy where they're considering some changes, maybe doing a little bit of research, seeing what other options are available. Auto parts wholesaler Fixum Incorporated decides to invest in a new data management system to increase the efficiency of its warehouse operations. Previously, all record keeping was done via printed documents, but now all transactions will be electronic. This change will require Fixum to expend a significant amount of money for hardware, software, and training. However, in the long run, the cost savings should exceed the upfront investment. Fixum has arranged for presentations to be made by 3 different vendors. Fixum seems to be facing a blank buying situation. Well, when they're going from all printed documents to electronic transactions, they're changing everything. So what we're looking at here is definitely with a new task. Everything is brand new, very detailed, very in-depth. Step number 3, managing the buyer-seller relationships. You have to make sure that the relationships between the buyers and the sellers, it might be casual, they might be really close, they might have been in a very long-lasting partnership where they've been working together for a very long time. Different relationships and different settings are going to be determined at this point. Now, close relationships between the buyers and sellers may produce mutual benefits. The longer you've been working with them, the more trust you have, the more reliability you have, that you'll probably be working together for the long haul for many years down the road. You just get benefits from that. Relationships may not always make sense, though. At the same time, they can reduce your flexibility and leverage. If you are sticking with just the same company, you can't necessarily go with the best price or maybe the best product because you feel obligated to stay with that company. Some purchases are just too small and too infrequent to be able to make it worth your while as well. So it doesn't make sense to work with that company. And some purchases do require a lot of special attention that the relationship would never be profitable for the seller. It's just not worth it to them, because if they can't make enough money because they have to spend so much time and energy and manpower, that it's just not really worth it at that point. And this is the end of video number 2.